yes.
King David.
What are you doing with King David?
All right.
Bathsheba.
Ah.
Wait.
Somebody has jumped the gun just a little bit.
No, just remember this.
A creep.
So we're gonna get started. Do the prayer, and then I'll let Pastor Nathan jump into some other statements. Shall we? All right. Come, Holy Spirit, fill the hearts of your faithful and kindle in them the fire of your love. Send forth your Spirit, and they shall be created, and you shall renew the face of the earth.
O God, who by the light of the Holy Spirit did instruct the hearts of the faithful, grant that by the same Spirit we may be truly wise and ever rejoice in your consolation. Through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you. All right. What you do? Yes.
Hello, everybody. We have reached a new month. It is February. So,
Did you do it?
what did you do in January?
I mean,
Undecking the halls. Helping with that? You have somebody else?
Did I do closed table?
Open table?
You did. You were there with us.
Undeck the halls with wallpaper.
So, once again, probably next week, since that's the last of the classroom things before Lent begins, I'll gather up all of those sheets to kind of look and see how you're doing with those. And during Lent, Ash Wednesday is another Wednesday night.
Sorry, I didn't show you.
Oh,
It'll come.
it'll come around. Okay,
Yes,
then I'll
yes.
hold that thought.
Yes.
Hold that thought. Opportunities coming up. February 7th, if one of you wants to be elector, then that'll be taking one load off of your hands. Would you be willing to not be elector if one
Yes,
of them
I've
wanted
already
to read?
signed up. I've actually read through the readings, but I'm happy to pass that along if somebody else would like one.
Yep.
So if you enjoy reading,
Reading. Yep.
you probably people.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no big words in these
No.
readings.
The liturgical word is lector because it is a lection, which is lectio, which is the Latin word for book. So a reading in the church is called a lection. So the reader would be a lector. Fun stuff.
There's also a lectern in Minecraft.
On February 8th, next Sunday, it's my birthday, and I'm preaching, and we would be glad to have one of you serve as an assisting minister, helping with that. As far as walk, Sunday school, and this month is the movie night series for Black History Month. So there will be a Monday night movie on the 9th, and then again 2 weeks later, there will be another movie. So that's popcorn and movie. You can come and learn there. That's your walk. For Witness, the open table meal is the third Sunday, and another community meal, back-to-back months. So you can come on Sunday afternoon if you want to help prepare that meal, which then gets delivered to be distributed closer to downtown. And now, remember Lutherdale. I've heard from some parents about who is going to camp this summer. I haven't heard from a few of them. So when your parents pick you up, be sure to ask if you haven't been to Lutherdale for confirmation week, and if you are in 7th or 8th grade, say, hey, make sure you let Pastor Nathan know that I'm going to camp or not. 2 weeks left. This week is David, Big King. Next week is the prophets who prophesied during the time of the kings. February 18th is Ash Wednesday. So that's a worship service that we will lead here. There's going to be one during the day when you're at school, and then there's one in the evening as well. And then there's 5 weeks where we have Lent midweek services, all on Wednesday nights. Those are prayer services, and I would love for one of those to be one of you. So there's not enough of those for everybody to do this, but to be able to help with that service. Traditionally, evening prayer starts with a service of light, so somebody to carry the candle that is then set forward, and to carry the candle out when they're done. There's also readings that could be done that you might prepare to read. If you want it to be more behind the scenes, we're going to live stream all of these midweek services. So what you could do is help with the live stream, learn how that's done. So that's a more behind the scenes thing if you don't want to be up front and don't want to talk into the microphone. But I know some of you are like theater kids, so you're probably okay with talking into the microphone. So I've heard from some parents about what Wednesdays are available. If your parent hasn't gotten in touch with me, I'll keep pestering them. So you want to know? Yes.
What is your favorite sport color?
Like,
Color.
Yes.
What's your favorite sport?
No, like his favorite team was the color.
Oh, I see. Well, the Indiana Hoosiers, where I went to college, that is cream and crimson. So, sort of the creamy shade of white, and the darker shade of red.
What?
Sorry for all of you Badger fans out there.
One.
Yeah.
my future high school
Yes.
brother.
Mhm. And I also like the Chicago Cubs. So they're red and blue.
Get out!
My dad doesn't like them.
I'm so sorry.
I can't help where I grew up. I can't help who raised
the
me.
playoffs.
My
In
dad
spite of
didn't even
that,
go
he's a
there.
good human being.
Yeah, but I will say this. During the winter, I have a really long Explorer coat from Land's End that is green, and then I wear a knit cap that is gold. So that way I can blend in.
Blend in.
Mhm.
You solid snake him with a hat.
Do you cheer for the Bears?
I don't really.
Good.
My mom did in the 80s, but football wasn't really big.
My dad only liked them because they won.
I understand. Yeah.
My grandparents were in Iowa, so they could watch
The Iowa Cubs. There was, and it was a AAA for AAA teams in Iowa. Yeah. My brother's a Cubs fan too. He's not my favorite.
Oh,
Anyway.
what's Green and Crimson?
That's the colors. Cream is like almost white,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
crimson
know
is
that,
red.
but where's that?
Indiana University. It's in Bloomington, Indiana.
Oh, that's in like Indiana.
Correct.
No.
Hence, Indiana
That
University.
near Indianapolis.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get started today. We're gonna talk about a couple things. We're gonna talk about this idea that God uses imperfect people to do amazing things.
Yes.
Yeah. But we're gonna start with some key words. One of these guys we're gonna talk about was chosen, like Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one. What does it mean to be chosen?
Am I allowed to say the word?
It's almost better. Go ahead.
Okay, so when you're chosen, like somebody chooses you, like just pretend that you're in like we have to like pick teams for like sports stuff,
Okay.
or like, and then people raise their hands to be the whatever it's called, the leader person.
Team
Yeah.
captain.
Yeah.
Team captain, and then they get picked,
Okay.
like chosen to.
That's
And
close.
that entire sentence
Okay,
is the definition in the dictionary.
So nice start. Finish us. Take us
The
home.
chosen. One who is picked for a reason.
Oh.
A person or group of people selected for a special purpose.
Oh, I
That's
could
what
do.
I said,
I
that's
should do.
special.
Yes, you used a lot of words to do it.
Do
Good
not
for
do
you.
over bingo.
Good for you. Yes. Nice job. That's very good. Okay. All right, we're going to talk about somebody who is chosen. What does it mean to be humble? Sadie, what do you think?
When you like do something really good for them, you're like, I really did do something like that because like I have a friend that is really good at art, but she's like, I suck.
I'm
That's
sorry.
actually, I would say that's slightly different than
I
humble, but
get
you're on the
it.
right track. Yes, what do you
I
think?
get it.
You humble, you mumble.
Is it humble or everything else?
Humble. Humble.
Humble.
Singular.
Oh, that means you're like.
I love you're like,
You're not.
Braggadocious?
I was gonna use that word.
Ah! Go ahead, what do you got?
What is
Down to earth and like not super arrogant.
humble?
Yes. Not arrogant.
Ooh.
Haughty. Didn't use that. Next time use the word haughty.
I
Or
love
overly
that
assertive.
I love that.
Unpretentious. So basically, you don't call attention to yourself. Okay? It's not necessarily saying I'm bad, right? But it's not really saying anything at all. Like you do your stuff and you're good with it. You don't need credit for it.
The phrase
That's
that
what I
I've
do.
heard, the phrase I've heard is being humble is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less, thinking of others more.
Ooh, that's good. I like
Yeah.
that. All right, we have one more word. Trust. What does it mean to trust? Somebody who hasn't talked yet. What does it mean to trust? Yes, that is star for the day. put your faith in somebody, to rely on someone or something, to place confidence in independence. Very nice. Nice job, you. Yes. So we're going to talk about all these things. There's a chosen person we're going to talk about. This person was very, very humble, and this person placed his or her trust in God. Okay? All right. We're talking about David, right? We've heard one story about David in the past. Who remembers the story that we heard about David? What can you tell me about David? That's David in Spanish. Go ahead.
He's a creep.
He's a creep. Very good.
He was out of youth for some reason.
He was.
And then he saw through a window that he like taking a bath.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fell in love and made her pregnant and killed her.
He didn't kill her.
He killed
Other
him.
people.
No.
He put her husband in front lines.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, husband.
Yeah.
Stab.
Yeah. Uriah. Tough beat. It's a tough way to go. Okay.
Bath.
So, how did you describe her? Or describe David, I'm sorry?
Creep.
Creep. Raise your hand if you think David's a creep. Loser in the game of life. Hero in the Bible.
Do not raise your hand. He's the first thing, but he's the second thing.
Hero in the Bible?
Well, it depends
Ooh,
on what
let's
you
just
stand.
see, shall
I
we?
thought they meant like they stated it. Jesus.
Let's learn a little bit about
Jesus, the hero in the Bible. Hero meaning.
a hero,
I thought you
not
meant
the
like
hero.
if the
A
Bible
hero.
stated that he was a hero.
He is a hero.
I heard the
Mount Rushmore potential?
No.
Absolutely yes.
Is
Six.
he on
So,
Seventh place.
He's not on Mount Rushmore, but he's in the next
He's
the
not
next
sixth
step.
place, but he's seventh place.
He's in that next
It's-
conversation.
No, the first is the
You make it a monument.
stable.
Hard to believe, right? Yes. So let's talk a little bit more about our buddy, the creep, David.
Yay!
Okay. So, who was David? What can you, aside from the fact that he was a creep, what can you tell me about David? What do you think?
He's killed many people. One by one.
We got the killing part down. What can you tell me about David? He was a king. Yes. What do you know about his childhood? Any idea what he was when he was a child? What job he had?
He was a child.
He was.
Not wrong.
He was.
The Rock.
Oh, he's a
Gladiator.
shepherd.
He was a shepherd. What does that mean? What is a shepherd?
Sheep. He guarded the sheep and take them out to grass and fish. He has some nice grass stuff and that.
Yes. So he was a shepherd. Okay. He did a other thing in his free time. Any idea what skill he had?
Throwing rocks at people.
No. Some of these questions are gimmies. I get it.
Playing the harp.
He was musically inclined. Yes, kind of like me.
Attracts
You don't know
animals.
fun fact.
I would have, if I had known,
Makes us sleep.
I totally would have done AI to put a sousaphone by him
You don't know
if
fun
I
fact.
had known. But alas, maybe a marching band cut.
You don't know
Anyway, so he was a shepherd and he was musically inclined. His dad, anybody watch VeggieTales?
Oh,
I don't know
My-
what you're talking
My
about.
second favorite VeggieTales ever has David and the Giant Pickle. Okay? Yes.
I want to watch it.
Okay? I almost had it here, but it's a little bit long. Anyway, if you remember from David and the Giant Pickle, David had a dad.
Wow.
His dad's name was?
His name was
Anybody
Dave.
know?
Dad the Dave.
His name
Jesse.
was Jesse.
Jesse had a bunch of kids.
Jesse.
Bunch of kids. Okay?
Jesse.
No. No. Jesse had, I think he had like
Jesse like
12
that
kids.
TV show on
Lot
like
of
Disney
kids.
Plus or something.
No, lots of kids.
Wait,
Okay?
he's not.
David was the youngest.
Jesse's
Okay? So David is a young guy, little kid, right? Okay? Son of Jesse,
How old
Bad
is he?
at breaking.
12.
Wait,
Oh,
Like
Jesse's
so
not
I
bad at breaking?
is that an
Anyway, we are going to now join David in his little life. Okay? We're going to read a little story about the creep, our friend David. So I want you to find a Bible, several around here.
This was pure luck.
It looks like one of those game ads that you see.
It is. Yes. And I want you to find 1 Samuel.
We should watch the movie.
1 Samuel, Old Testament or New Testament?
No.
Old.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
Old
Samuel is
New
Old
Testament.
Testament.
What is he saying?
Old Testament is story of Israel.
Yes.
New Testament is story of the church.
So 1 Samuel. Yes, 1 Samuel 17.
Wait, what?
Wait, he's playing Mozart. I have no idea.
If you don't mind.
What page is it? 314. Page is 314. I bring you the 15 commandments.
15.
10
Commandments.
All right. So we're going to read a little bit about our guy, David. David.
The bees.
Yes.
How do you say
All right. So I want to start just with a little
You
bit
have
of.
a skirt on.
What's it?
The bigger guy.
Uh, yeah.
He's a gladiatorial fighter. With a skirt. Well, yeah, that's what gladiators look like. Have you ever seen the movie?
All right. Who can get me started? I want to find. I need a Bible here. I need the.
All right, he
Would you like mine?
Do you
got
mind?
a fiddle.
Thank you so much.
He's got a fiddle.
All right.
I want my glasses.
No, I got it. So, who can start me reading on chapter 17, verse 1? Okay, Sadie, give it loud and proud here.
Now the Philistines gathered their armies for battle. They were gathered at Strathel, which belongs to Judah, and encamped between Saco and Escalon in Ephes.
Just, yeah. Just sound it out.
Saul and the Israelites gathered and encamped in the valley of Elah and formed ranks against the Philistines.
Okay,
The
I'm going to stop you there. So we got the Philistines
Philistines.
and the Israelites. Okay? Good guys and bad guys. Who are the good guys?
The Israelites.
Israelites?
We think.
Unless you're Philistine. Who are the bad guys?
Philistines.
Philistines. Okay. So they're armies. Okay, we got the Philistines on one side, we got the Israelites on the other. Who's leading the Israelites here? What name do we say?
Jesse.
Did we, it was in the Bible. Thank you. The name that we read in the Bible. Saul. So Saul is the king. Saul is the king of Israel right now. Different Saul, not Saul that became
Wait,
Paul.
but they're not on the front lines. They're like sitting back, like you know.
No, they're up on a mountain. All right. Okay, and I want to jump to verse 4. Somebody want to read starting at 4? Okay, go ahead. Yep. Loud and proud.
And then came out from the camp of Rufus, which was chiefly named for wild people. His height was 6 cubits.
Okay, any idea how tall a cubit is?
I recently was like from your elbow to your middle finger.
Roughly 2
Thank
feet.
you, Quincy Jackson.
So that means he was roughly 12 feet tall.
Oh wow.
And span, which is the
Yeah.
So does that mean he was
12'6".
Does that mean he was the tallest person in the world?
Big guy, big guy, big guy. Okay, he's huge. Anyway, keep going.
Looks like he's starting to- His height was 6 cubits, and he had an armor of bronze on his head, and his arm with a target. The weight of the cup was 5,000 shekels of bronze.
Very heavy.
It
Shekels.
says at the bottom it says close to 10 feet tall.
12 feet is close to 10 feet tall. Okay, one more verse, please.
He had greaves of bronze on his legs and a javelin of bronze slung between his shoulders.
Perfect. Does this sound like a warrior?
Yeah.
Armor, spear, whatever that is? Yes.
Wait, but he has
yes.
a sword in the picture.
Yes. Okay. So I want to jump to verse 8. Can somebody start reading at verse 8? Yes.
He stood and shouted at the ranks of Israel, "Why have you come out to draw up for battle? Am I not a Philistine? And are you not servants of Saul? Choose a man for yourselves and let him come down to fight. If he is able to fight
You good?
with me and kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then you shall be our servants and serve us."
Whoa.
What? This
That
is
seems like
unfair.
high stakes,
Very
right?
nice.
One fight
This
to the death.
This sounds like a movie.
It does.
So why do they have all
It
these
is.
armies?
Goliath says, forget the armies. We don't need armies. I'm fighting for us. Bring them on. Bring your one person. Okay? Who do you think they're going to call? Who are the Israelites going to call?
David.
The best warrior.
Their best warrior.
Which is David.
So let's see. I'm gonna actually gonna read a little bit. I'm gonna start reading at verse 12. Okay. Now David was the son of Jesse of Bethlehem in Judah, named Jesse, who had 8 sons. In the days of Saul, the man was already old and advanced years. This is Jesse. Okay. Blah 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 blah. David was the youngest. The 3 eldest followed Saul, but David went back and forth through Saul to feed his father's sheep in Bethlehem. So, how many of you have older brothers or sisters? How many of them are the coolest people in the world?
Mine is.
Yeah, right. Okay. How many of your older brothers and sisters walk around kind of like this? Right? They're the real thing, right? They're hot stuff and stuff like that.
No.
Well, that's what
I have no
David's.
siblings.
That's what David's brothers were like.
I have none.
David's brothers were the real thing. David, like, yeah, go back by the sheep. I got a battle to fight. Okay? Go back by the sheep. Okay? So he sent him back by the sheep. Now again, David's like a little tight, right? His brothers are old and mature and warriors.
No, get out of the way.
Exactly. Okay? All right. We are going to jump. And I mean, we are going to jump. Woo, where do we want to jump to? We're going to jump to
The sky.
verse 38. We're jumping way. So, what happens between...
That's the whole next page.
It is. What happens between where we just left off and 38 is David went out in the fields.
What? Wait, what? Why is David putting armor on us?
Do you want to do this?
Sure.
We're skipping the highlighted part. All right, so here's the deal. David goes back by the sheep. Are you reading ahead?
No. Just the 317.
David goes back by the sheep, right? And they argue about who should fight Goliath. And God says, David, I think you should fight Goliath. Okay? And God talks to Saul and says, David should fight Goliath. He can just throw it over. That's like,
Wait.
you should come and fight me.
Oh, bat.
That's not what David said. David said, are you sure? Like, is there another David we could be talking about?
No.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, this sheep's
David
named
John.
David.
Yes. And God says, oh, no. I want you, David.
Yes,
Did I
Yes.
stutter?
Okay?
Yeah, I stuck.
And David said, okay. And now we get to verse 38. Okay?
38.
Saul and David agree. David's the person that should go fight Goliath.
Isn't he scared like that his son's gonna probably die?
No.
Yes.
But why does Saul
And-
tries to kill David?
And if David loses, what happens to the Israelites? They're in, yes.
Yeah, but nobody's actually gonna do that.
Oh, yes, they will.
If David dies, then you just actually fight the Lord.
They made a deal.
Eat
Who
it.
shook you?
Put it.
All right.
Contract.
Who can read a little bit at verse 38? Loud.
Saul clothed David with his armor. He put a bronze helmet on his head and clothed him with a coat of mail. David strapped Saul's sword over the armor, and he tried in vain to walk, for he was not used to them. Then David said to Saul, I cannot walk with you, for I am not used to them. So David removed them. Then he took
Okay, yeah, just read the next verse. Yeah.
Then he took his staff in his hand and chose 5 smooth stones from the wadi and put them in his shepherd's bag in the pouch. His sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine.
Also known as
The bad
Goliath. Yes. So they put all this armor on David. It's so heavy he can't even walk.
He's like, bro, I'm talking
Yes. Right? Goliath, he's strapped on the armor. He's got the helmet. He's got the spear and the shield and the sword. He's ready to go. David is walking out there, kind of like me right now.
David walking out there with a pouch of
Pouch and
rocks.
5 rocks.
Yeah.
So, if we were betting, who would we bet on right now?
David.
The Goliath.
David.
Generally Goliath. I think you're pressured. You can see into the future.
Goliath.
No.
But
Nah.
All right.
I just bet $20
that's fair. You'd win. Okay. Philistine, Goliath, laughs at David. Ha, 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 ha. You come to me with a stick and a bunch of stones, and I have this spear and this shield. And you think you're going to defeat me, Goliath, 10 to 12 feet tall? Okay. But David said at verse 45. Somebody want to read verse 45? Somebody else want to read verse 45? All right, go ahead. What David said.
But David said to the Philistine, "You come to me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied."
We'll read one more.
This very day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I will strike you down and cut off your head.
Oh,
And
that's
I will
wonderful.
give the dead bodies to the Philistine army.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, so we're going to jump to 48. When the Philistine drew nearer to meet David, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet the Philistine. David put his hand in his bag, took out a stone, slung it, struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead and fell down on the ground. Yes. So, David, a friend David, right? Again, he's a young boy. This is the first thing that ever really happened to him. Up until now, he's just a shepherd in the fields. And God says, I want...
And then he turned into a creep.
We'll get to the creep part. But right now, David's a hero. Okay? David saved the entire country of Israel.
Not
Okay.
yet.
No, he just did. By killing Goliath.
Just by hitting him with the what?
Because he killed him.
You should have got just one.
So remember what Goliath said. If I win, you are our slaves. If you win, we're your slaves.
Both teams are like, are we
Absolutely.
sure about
Yep.
this?
So, David, right now, forget what we talked about Bathsheba. Just this story. Hero or villain? Absolutely.
Until I turn into it.
Okay. So, there's a second part of the story of David.
Is that the creep part yet?
Bro, stop talking about the creep.
English murder.
Wouldn't you know it? Now you're kidding me.
No, I'm Gavin.
Totally the blue screen of death. Okay.
Quiz show.
Oh,
Betty.
Betty!
Check out the video on 1 Samuel where we were introduced to the book's three main characters, Samuel, Saul,
My
and
dear
David.
video, please.
And then also to the book's literary design, which first introduced Samuel and then traced the rough
Oh! Whoa! What the?
That's the same song.
and fall
There it is.
of King Saul, in contrast to the rise of King David. 2 Samuel tells the story of David as Israel's king, and in two movements. There's a season of success and blessing, followed by a huge moral failure and then its sad consequences. And then the book ends with this well-crafted conclusion that reflects back on the good and the bad in David's life, generating hope for a future king to come from his line. So 2 Samuel picks up after Saul's death, and David surprises everyone by composing this long poem where he laments the death of the very man who tried to murder him.
Saul the king
So
tried
once
to
again,
kill
the
David.
author
Right
is
here,
presenting
bottom of
David
page
with
317.
passion. He's a man who grieves the death even of his own enemies. After this, David experiences a season of success and God's blessing. All of the Israelite tribes, they come to David and they ask him to unify all the tribes as their king. And so the first thing David does as king is to go to the city of Jerusalem. He conquers it, and he establishes it as Israel's capital city, which he renames as Zion. And from there, David goes on and he wins many battles and expands Israel's territory. Now, after making Jerusalem the political capital of Israel, he wants to make it their religious capital as well. And so he has the Ark of the Covenant moved into the city. And then in 2 Samuel 7, he tells God Now that Israel has a permanent home, he thinks that God's presence should also get a permanent house.
The Ark of the Covenant is what holds what?
Holy.
The Ten Commandments.
Oh.
So moving the Ten Commandments back to Israel,
That's
big deal.
big.
Big deal.
So he asks if he can build a temple for the God of Israel. But God says, David, thank you for that thought, but actually I'm going to build you a house, a dynasty. Now, 2 Samuel 7, this is a key chapter for understanding the storyline of the whole Bible. Because God here makes a promise to David that from his royal line will come a future king who's going to build God's temple here on earth and set up an eternal kingdom. And it,
Where have we heard a promise like that before? There's another guy that we've heard. You can say it. Yes.
Hey, I
Very similar to Abraham, right? God made a promise to Abraham that I'm going to give you descendants. God made a promise to David that from you will have a future king. Any idea who that future king might be?
Jesus.
Yes.
It's this messianic promise to David that gets picked up and developed more in the book of Psalms and also in the books of the prophets. And it's this king that gets connected to God's promise to Abraham. The future messianic kingdom will be how God brings his blessing to all of the nations. And it's right here, in the midst of all this divine blessing, that things go poorly. David makes a fatal mistake. Not fatal for him, but for a man named Uriah, one of David's prize soldiers. So from his rooftop, David sees Uriah's wife, Bathsheba, bathing. David finds her, he sleeps with her, gets her pregnant. And then he tries to cover the whole thing up by having Uriah assassinated and then marrying her. It's just horrible. So when David's confronted by the prophet Nathan about all of this, he immediately owns up to what he's done. He's broken, he repents, he asks God to forgive him, and God does forgive him, but God doesn't erase the consequences of David's decisions. And so as a result of this horrible choice, David's family, his kingdom, it all falls apart. And it makes this section a tragic story, much like Saul's downfall. So David's sons end up repeating his own mistakes, but in even more tragic ways. So Amnon sexually abuses his sister, Tamar, and then their brother Absalom finds out about all of this and has Amnon assassinated. And then Absalom goes and he hatches this secret plan to oust his father David from power, and he launches this full-scale rebellion. And so for a second time, David is forced to flee from his own home and go hide in the wilderness. Except this time, he is not an innocent man. The rebellion ends when David's son is murdered, and it breaks David's heart. And so once again, he laments over the very man who tried to kill him. David's last days find him back on his throne, but as a broken man, wounded by the sad consequences of his sin. The book concludes with a well-crafted epilogue, with stories that are out of chronological order, but they have this really cool symmetrical literary design. So the outer pair of stories come from earlier in David's reign, and they compare the failures of Saul and then of David, and how each of them hurt other people through their bad decisions. The next inner pair of stories are about David and his band of mighty men who went about fighting the Philistines. And what's interesting is that both sections have a story of David's weakness in battle. So in contrast to the victorious David of chapters 1 through 9, here we see a vulnerable David who's dependent on others for help. The center of the epilogue has two poems that act like memoirs, and David reflects back on his life. And he remembers times when God graciously rescued him from danger. And he sees these as moments where God was faithful to his covenant promise to him and to his family. Both poems conclude by looking back onto the hope of God's promise of a future king who will build that eternal kingdom. Now these poems, and then God's promise, also connect back to Hannah's poem that opened the book. And so these key passages from the beginning, now the middle, and the end of the book bring the book's themes all together. Despite Saul and David's evil, God remained at work, moving forward his redemptive purposes. And God opposed David and Saul's arrogance, but he exalted David.
We'll stop there. All right. So the point of that was, tell me a little bit about David's life.
He was a hero.
So we start with him as a hero, right?
Okay. He's still
I still don't
I
consider
It is a
still, yeah,
roller
I
coaster.
still think he's a hero.
and then he turns into a creep. And
He's
then,
no, I think he's still.
But then his children are also creeps. Well, not the
It's quite a story. Like
one
if
of them are
If you were when you were a little kid, right? When you were a little kid, how many of you read the little kid's Bible? I love the little kid's Bible. The story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You read it over and over.
Locusts and honey.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you were reading that, how does that compare to this story?
Well, does it say talk about the Bathsheba?
No, I don't think the story of Bathsheba is
It's
in the
unfiltered.
not in the little kid's Bible. I don't think
It's
so.
unfiltered.
Here's
Was that the one with the pictures?
yes, yeah. What do you think?
It just shows.
It didn't have where the son sexually assaults someone.
All the bad stuff, right?
This one is unfiltered.
Yes, the Bible is unfiltered. There's all kinds of bad stuff in the Bible. Okay,
It's like,
including
it's like kids eat chicken noodles just YouTube.
yes,
But let me
And
finish.
so-
All
even with the heroes of the Bible. Okay, Abraham is a hero in the Bible. Okay, he had a son with someone else who wasn't his wife. Adultery. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
All of our heroes in the Bible have failures. Okay, yeah. David included. So, my question for you is this. Think about all these, we listened to two or three different stories about David. Okay? We had the story about David and Goliath. We had the story about David and Bathsheba. You heard the story about David and his son. A little bit, but you get the idea. What do we learn from that? What do they teach us? Yes.
Everybody makes mistakes, and even if sometimes you can do a major world screw up, but it is possible to redeem yourself, and you can still be seen as a hero.
100%. Yes, that's wonderful. That was very well said. Nice job. So yes, how many? Raise your hand if you make mistakes. Yeah. Okay, we can make mistakes, even major mistakes. How many of you think David made at least one major mistake? Right, and yet he was still loved by God. Okay, but there was a second part of that statement. David felt horrible. He repented. He asked for forgiveness. And God said, I forgive you, but there's something else. Not punishment. No. It's a different word. Starts with a C, and it rhymes with consequence. Thank you. Yes. There were consequences to what David did. So just because David asked for forgiveness and God forgave him, doesn't mean that there weren't consequences. Okay? Big deal. So the other thing that we learned, think about David as a little kid fighting Goliath. Okay? Did God ask somebody who was like, I don't know, kind of a kid to do a really important thing? Okay? Did David trust God? Yeah. And so the other thing that we learn is sometimes we are asked, whether it's by God or someone else, to do things that are hard. Okay? And even though it's hard, we have to have faith that God will be with us, or that people who are near us will be with us to help us through. So there's all these different learnings from these very, very, very different stories of David. All right? All right, we're going to go through a quiz real quick, and then I'm going to send you guys off, because we're in good shape. How did I do that? That's my nephew, actually, and my dad. All right, so,
I know this question.
all right, Pierce. David was named king after who ruled? Solomon, Saul, Paul, or Nathan? Saul, absolutely. Nice job by you. All right, we're going back this way. Number 2. Dos. David's relatives included Jesus, Ruth, and Abraham, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Paul, Timothy, and Nathan, or Groucho, Harper, and Chico. Like, nobody even knows who those people are.
No, it sounds familiar. It does.
Yeah.
I'm Beatles.
The Marx Brothers.
Wait,
It's the Marx Brothers.
Yeah, I knew Harper.
Yeah.
I don't think it was
It's
Beatles.
like a comedy act from the 1940s.
I don't know.
Anyway.
It's
So what do you think the answer is? Yes. Ringo, Paul, John, and George. Jesus, Ruth, and Abraham. Yes.
Why did I think of the
Paul,
Beatles when I heard
Timothy,
Harper?
and Nathan.
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. All right, we're back over here.
Hey!
We'll get to you. All right, you ready? All right, David grew up as the son of a poor Bethlehem farmer, a wealthy landowner, the king of Judah, or Saul. A, as in correct. A poor Bethlehem farmer named
Jesse.
Jesse. Yeah,
Same.
exactly. All right, you ready?
No.
Well, better get ready. David became well known early in his life because he was a man of large physical size and strength. He killed the giant Goliath. He was an excellent weapons maker, or he was a great musician.
I think it's D, which is B.
Correct. Later in life, he was known as a great musician, but early in life, he killed the giant Goliath. All right, you ready? One of David's friends was the prophet Jeremiah, Ezra, Isaiah, or Nathan. Think about the video. Talk real quick about this guy. Just guess. Nathan, yes!
First try.
Absolutely, yes. Nathan. Nathan was his friend, but Nathan was also the person who said, listen, what you're doing is really wrong.
Stop.
Yep. All right, moving on.
Red gun, email me. Come on.
Moving on. David was the king of Judah, Israel, both Judah and Israel, or Finland. This is a trick question. It's not Finland, but it's a trick question. So, A, B, C, or D?
Not D.
It's C.
Yes, because remember, he joined all the countries and the tribes. Okay? All right, we're at you. You ready? David felt it was important to bring blank to Jerusalem, the finest meat and bread, the weapons of the whole nation, the Ark of the Covenant, or Noah's Ark. We talked about this. David brought this to Israel and decided to put it in the temple. Not Noah's Ark. Just pick a letter that's A, B, or C. C, yes. The Ark of the Covenant, which held the Ten Commandments. Right? So remember we talked about the Ark of the Covenant held the Ten Commandments. The Ark of the Covenant held the Ten Commandments, and that was what David wanted to bring to the temple. Last question. First one to shout it wins. The story of David reminds us that God only loves perfect people. God has a hard time forgiving people when they mess up. Not everyone is cut out to be a leader, or God uses important people.
Yeah.
I said imperfect.
God uses imperfect people.
I said it in
I think it's
-1
C.
second.
So,
Uh,
nice job. Next week we're going to be talking about the prophets of Israel. We probably won't go quite as long because I want to be with next week being the last week of confirmation this year. I want to make sure you guys have some extra time in your small groups. So I will be a little quicker on the trigger next
Wait,
week.
what do you mean
Like the
last
last
week?
So confirmation goes until next week, and after next week we go to Ash Wednesday, Lent, and then we're off until September.
And I'm off forever.
What?
Or some of us are off forever.
You still have me, don't worry.
I don't know.
All right, go to your small group.
I
Have
refuse.
fun.
I refuse.
Can I say something?
I refuse. Who are the people?
Wait, do you want to know what teams
Coming in.
not to be because I'm not
Sadie's little brother, Will.
Wait, is he
Um,
is he gonna be?
That's about
He's
it.
not old enough yet.
That's literally
And then he is, you're younger.
I thought Kennedy was a year older than I.
Who is she?
Yeah.
She might be. Actually, she might be. Yeah, might be.